Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be going over my top 10 favorite exotic weapons to use in Destiny 2. And as always, this is a completely subjective list on my own interpretation of fun weapons, but I do know that a lot of people these days are just re-entering into Destiny 2 after not playing for a long time, and they don't know about all of the incredible weapons that we've seen since then. So this video is going to be a roundup of my 10 favorite. To reiterate, this is about the fun weapons, not necessarily the weapons that have the most DPS or the most efficacy in all the activities, but the ones that are interesting and fun. And of course, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite exotic weapons are. And in the description down below, you can find a list of tutorials to all of the different exotic weapons that have exotic quests and how to complete every one of them. So that way, if you see something you like, you can go find it. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Again, let's go! Raid is a free energy-based RPG for mobile and PC with incredible graphics. The footage that you see on screen right now is actual mobile footage that I captured on a phone, and it's free. And it takes over an hour for your phone to turn into a bar of thermite, which is pretty good when compared to other HDR phone games. So in a nutshell, what's in this game? Well, there's tons of champions, items, campaign missions, dungeons, bosses, seasonal PvP ranks, and because this game is so popular with over 1 million daily players, it has about 1,000 weekly videos on YouTube and 87,000 people in their community Discord. So if you're ever lost, you have a lot of resources. In the description down below, you can find a referral link to get a big starter bonus in your inbox of 100,000 silver and a new free champion Grumbler. And even without a big, let's say, personality, a champion like Grumbler can really help out in the early game, and that is available for the next 30 days. Now, I have played a lot of energy/time-based mobile games in my time, including Clash of Clans, Fallout Shelter, Idle Heroes, and many more, and this game is very well made. You have a popular formula made very competently, and I honestly cannot wait to see all of the heroes in this game. And once you get the game, make sure you add me as Dychronic. I'm gonna be on the grind, because that's how we do the grind. Up first on this top 10 list, we have the kinetic auto rifle known as Monte Carlo. Now, this weapon actually was sold by the Xur about a week ago and has been used in so many of my different builds that I even put this in my top 10 PvE primaries because of its amazing utility. Now, if you've never heard of this weapon, dealing damage with this weapon, literally just the bullets, reduces the melee cooldown and grants you a chance to fully charge your melee with each kill. And on top of that, you also get increased damage for your bullets from melee kills and kills with this weapon, and melee kills grant ammo for this weapon as well. So basically, any one of your crazy melee builds that at all depends on your melee ability, this thing just allows you to make even more use to that. And let me tell you, when you accidentally use your melee during Insurmountable Skull Fort, this thing just comes in so clutch, because in one clip, you got your melee back. Up at number 2 on this list, we have the kinetic fusion rifle known as Bastion. The only fusion rifle in the game that is kinetic, that basically charges up to fire 3 spreads of kinetic slugs, and also a portion of the weapon damage bypasses elemental shields. Now, why is this thing fun? Because it does a lot of damage. Now, personally, I like to use this thing in PvP and have even put it in my top 10 PvP specials, because this thing can kill pretty much every super in the game with one charge shot from it. So if you're having that much damage in a special weapon, going around just killing regular people is so much fun. Up at number 3, we have the energy fusion rifle known as Jotun. You charge up a single high damage, large explosive shot that also tracks towards the target. I would say generally people know this and understand as a bane of the Crucible, because it can in fact one-shot relatively easily, and a lot of people who don't have the best of aim often use this kind of weapon. That being said, it also is a lot of fun to use in both PvP and PvE. Similarly to the 1000 Voices, it has low DPS but high burst. That single shot large explosion does a lot of damage dump and is very fun. At number 4 on this list, we have the energy hand cannon known as Sunshot. And oh my goodness, Sunshot is a lot of fun. This weapon fires explosive rounds and highlights targets that take damage from it. And targets killed with the Sunshot explode with solar energy. And once you get the catalyst for this, it explodes in a bigger blast of solar energy. And on top of that, if you haven't used this weapon since it came out, it has a larger clip clip at a size of 12, and it also reloads faster than it used to. So this thing is just a lot of fun, lots of explosions, lots of damage. Honestly, if you haven't used an exotic primary in a while, you owe it to yourself to use some Sunshot. Coming up at number 5, ironically, we have the Fourth Horseman, an exotic energy shotgun that came out this season that is some of the highest burst damage in the entire game for all special weapons, although it does take a lot longer to reload, so it doesn't have great DPS in the end, but 360 RPMs on this thing is kind of ridiculous for a shotgun. And on top of that, each successive shot does more damage and more spread, with the catalyst adding one more bullet to the magazine and increasing the reload speed, making this thing an absolute monster, so much so that the game can't even calculate it, and sometimes when you fire at enemies, they just get their health back because there's too much to process. Honestly, what else is there to say about this weapon? It's a fully automatic 360 RPM shotgun that does a lot of damage. Honestly, run Shotgun Scavenger, Special Ammo Finder, because this thing is excellent. Up at number 6 in this countdown, we have the Energy Trace Rifle known as Divinity, one of the best special weapons for its insane utility, where sustained damage with this weapon envelops the target in a field that weakens and disrupts them, which means they also take more weapon damage, the maximum enemy debuff amount of weapon damage, and on top of that, targets under the effects of that bubble long enough are struck with a burst damage. Now, what makes this the best and most amazing and most fun is that you create a large bubble that's an instant crit plus all that extra weapon damage for you and all of your teammates. So literally any sniper, any shotgun, everything is perfect crit plus that extra damage, and it's just so much fun to watch high health enemies just absolutely vaporize. Up at number 7, we have the first heavy weapon, the exotic fusion rifle known as 1000 Voices. Now, if you've been doing the last wish raid to get this thing, you should keep doing it because this thing is so much fun to use. This weapon charges up a beam of death that then coats an entire area with explosions and then of course explodes and does a ton of damage. Honestly, definitely hands down one of my favorite fun weapons to use. Similar to the Jotun, does not have great DPS, but it is a lot of fun to use. And some bosses that do take more explosion damage will actually see a lot of benefit from this. The only issue is that you do have to get it randomly from the last wish raid final chest at a 2% chances. Kinda difficult. But hey, look on the bright side. If it's taken less than 98 tries, you're doing better than one of my clanmates. No joke. 98 tries and he finally got his 1K. It was really funny. At number 8, we have the newest weapon to our exotic arsenal, the machine gun known as Heir Apparent. Once you spin up this weapon, it can be fired at full auto, and at full health spun up, you get a very strong arc shield. So it is a high fire rate, blind fire, high aim assistance, high survivability, shielded thing that's actually really effective and a lot of fun in the Crucible. Just spin up, get your full shield, walk out into the open all slowly, blind firing into the open, destroying everybody in your path. Honestly, what else is there to say? Coming up at number 9, we have the heavy machine gun known as Xenophage, a weapon that actually started off as very, very bad when it first came out. They had to buff the damage by 50%, but ever since then, this thing has been kind of crushing it in raids and PvP. If you did not know, it fires a high-powered explosive ammunition that cannot crit, actually, that does a lot of freaking damage. If you've never used it, check it out, go get it. It is really not that difficult. The most difficult part is going to be that extra Pit of Heresy part, but ever since our level advantage is really not that hard. And also when it comes to raids, this thing is probably like the second best or third best option you can possibly have, and it is built like that without any catalyst, so it's very simple. And finally, coming up at number 10, we have the heavy rocket launcher known as Wardcliff Coil. Probably my most favorite exotic from Destiny 2 since the very beginning, because it did actually come out with the game. I remember I used to use this thing in PvE Nightfall scoring because it was one of the best DPSs, and oftentimes you could actually fling enemies across the map a lot better than Tractor Cannon ever could. However, these days it's a lot better for Crucible, and honestly, by far, number 1 weapon using Crucible. It's a shotgun rocket, so anything from you to 10 meters completely decimated, anything from 10 to 20 meters is probably dead, and sometimes from 20 meters all the way to the other map, you'll get lucky and accidentally kill people. When it comes to fun, the Wardcliff Coil's got it going on. And that's it. That is the end of the video. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of my top 10 and what your favorite exotics are to use in the wild. And again, this is not always about the most effective weapon, because I make spreadsheets and lists for all of the most effective weapons in my opinion. Today, we're talking about fun. So let me know what you think is the fun and why. Well, that's it. My name's been Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.